This bit I would definitely like to record. I get uh, inquiries and I send an SMS saying that this is what I offer, and they want the fee structure. And when they see that the fee structure is free, okay, and when they see that I'm saying this is basically for people from rural backgrounds uh, with a deficient educational background as well, and also maybe economically backward. It is meant for those, not that I'm not going to take other people, I'm going to take everyone. Initially, I said if you're well off, it'll be nice if you can make uh, a donation of your choice, 200, 500, whatever, a donation of your choice. And on the basis of that donation, I thought I'll be able to, build up the institute a bit. But people were not giving. That's fine. That's okay. Like I always said, right to education, people say, is a right now, and we don't pay for other rights. So why should we pay for education? So perfectly all right. No one needs to pay. Doesn't matter if you're a millionaire. It doesn't matter if you don't have any money. I'll treat you all equally, and I'll take on the job of providing whatever education I can provide. Now, I didn't call the institute. If you know the full name of the institute, it is called AVR Institute of Education. AVR is my grandfather. Those are his initials. Okay, and he was somebody who did a tripos in chemistry, which means he could have become a lecturer. But seeing that there was greater necessity, this is all in the pre-independence days, seeing that there's a greater necessity for school teachers, he decided to go and work at the school level. Um, and he was from your place, Akshay, uh, Hanumakunda. He did most of his work there, and he started the Scouts and Guides movement, uh, and uh, he organized Scouts and Guides camps with the financial support provided by the Kalleda Zamindars there. Uh, he organized these, and he was a social reformer. He went into abolition of child marriages. He became a Brahma Samajist, and he did all these things. He also fought for widow remarriages, especially of child widows. He fought for all those things. So I thought, my father was my hero. My father was my hero uh, because I have had access to very good education. But despite that, I had great education at home. My mother is a born teacher. She was a teacher of maths anyway. For a few years while I was growing up, she sacrificed her own teaching career so that she could spend time with teaching me and Also, my grandmother was alive. She needed to be taken care of. But um, so she was my teacher. And my dad, though he was never formally my teacher, when I look back today at the kind of things that he taught me in response to the questions that I used to raise. Okay, I used to raise uh, questions because I was an inquisitive uh, kid. I had a lot of questions about various things. He had answers for all of them. Okay, he had he taught me how to play cricket because the first few years of my life, the first 6 years, I think, 6 or 7, were not in Hyderabad. Uh, and I didn't really have great company except when I was in Nizamabad. I had lots of friends, but otherwise I didn't. So he used to play with me. He taught me how to play cricket. He taught me all the rules of the game. He taught me how to play table tennis. Uh, Musically, he taught me how to play the Bulbul Tarang. Uh, there was one lying around, and he just taught me how to play that. And if I asked him questions about automobiles, and I was very, very inquisitive about automobiles because that continues to be the love of my life. Uh, and he used to give me answers to all the questions I raised, all the questions. And the moment that really surprised me was by then I was quite grown up. I was in my eighth or ninth class, and I was talking about music, and I mentioned the rock band Eagles, and he told me about the Eagles, and I said, "How does he know this? How does he know this till date?" When I asked him, "How do you know all this?" he said, "I don't know. Just pick them up here and there." Okay, so he taught me the difference between a diesel engine and a petrol engine. All right, he taught me the difference between a 4-stroke and a 2-stroke. He taught me all these things. And I used to ask him, why are trains faster, even though they are diesel locomotives pulling them? And why are buses not able to keep up the same speed? He gave me the answer for that. He gave me the answer for that kind of thing. So I've had education at home. Now, this is what I mean by education. Education is not getting a degree. Well, it's an important part. People have to recognize that you have done some course in order to consider you for employment. And we are not in a country where we basically uh, have the luxury. We have the luxury to say, I'll study things because they interest me a lot. We don't have that luxury. And I think I told you that I was very good in maths. And in my time, we had not one maths like you people have. We had composite maths and we had general maths. And I took composite maths because it was, for me, to take anything easy was uh, below my dignity. Okay. Even though I and I was pretty good at maths, but somehow developed an aversion to it. I usually tease my mother about it. I tell her, I think it was your insistence on my starting the studies at home every day with maths that I just didn't want to do maths anymore. I joke, and one day she said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "No, I'm not." But whatever, I was not very keen on doing maths, in spite of being very good in it. And then I said, I had this fascination for medicine. I'm quite a bit of a quack. You people will be quite surprised how much I know about medicine. Then, so I said I'll do BPC in my intermediate. And, well, I came a cropper when it came to dissections. Uh, I just couldn't do a dissection, especially of a frog. Told you this story, I think, so I'm not going to tell it to you again. Uh, had a frog come in the dissection, I would have failed. Fortunately, I didn't have to dissect a frog, so I passed. So that's okay. Then that's when I decided, okay, enough of trying to pretend that I'll be this, I'll be that, and enough of the ego thing that something is below my dignity. So I decided I was very interested in reading classic literature. My grandfather was, uh, he had a huge collection of books of Shakespeare and all in medieval English, not in modern English. And I had read them and I thought, let's do English literature. And then I wanted to choose what subjects to go with. Uh, so I chose what Akshay Puneet Puri chose: history, political science, and modern language, which was English literature. And while doing that, I started getting doubts. What's the big deal? Why am I reading Shakespeare? Yasmin will tell you that except her father, nobody could teach Chaucer. That's complete crap. Uh, I was taught Chaucer by uh, Miss Bala Kodandraman, or Dr. Bala Kodandraman, I'm sorry. And she did a wonderful job. So after hearing this boast of hers for about 2,000 times, I finally gathered courage and said, "But I studied Chaucer not under your father. I studied Chaucer under someone else." And then she said, "No, you would have done it as modern language. My father used to do it as medieval language." And I said, there was no medieval language course in Usmania University. There never was a medieval language course. So anyway, but a number of questions came up. Why literature? It seemed like such an undynamic subject, and then I thought, of all the subjects, it seemed like political science had uh, the most dynamic component built into it. And Kodan Reddy, now called just Kodan, he's become a politician. In those days, he was a teacher, and a very good one at that. So he and Purushottam Reddy was another teacher who was not a great scholar, but he had this subtle quality of making you inquisitive, making you want to learn more. And he had that quality. So, because of these two people, I decided I'll do political science. But initially, like all Hyderabadis of that time, I thought I'll do international studies until I met one of my father's colleagues, an IAS officer, uh, Mr. U.B. Raghavendra Rao, an amazing man who died too early in life in a road accident. And he asked me, tell me, what is your fascination with international relations? Uh, and had no answer. So he said, why? So why are you thinking of international relations? Why don't you do the whole of political science? That'll be a better thing. I thought about it. It seemed like a great idea. And then I joined political science in Delhi. And my fortune, my good fortune with good teachers, not only did it continue, it went up at least 20 notches. I, I was taught by some of the greatest teachers that JNU has seen. Okay, I was taught by Sudipto Kaviraj. I was taught by Rajiv Bhargava. I was taught by Gurpreet Mahajan. I was taught by Neeraja Gopal. Later on, she became Neeraja Gopal Jayal. And I was, again, for me, it was like I've come all the way to Delhi. I've come here to study. And so I should make the best of this university. And so whenever I had time, I took permission from the respective teachers. I went and attended classes of economics under Professor Prabhat Patnaik, a legendary economist, uh, and he still remembers me. That's great. All these people remember me. And Balbir Arora, the way he taught Indian political institutions, I don't think anyone else in this country can teach Indian political institutions the way Balbir Arora teaches them. And I used to attend Prabhat Patnaik's classes whenever I could. I used to attend Madhavan Palat, his classes in on Russian intellectual history. Uh, so that's those were again amazing classes. Madhavan Palat was he's an unknown person, but a brilliant scholar. I haven't seen a historian like him. And that's when I realized that everything has history and you can't move away from it. Though the paper was just called Russian Intellectual History, what I learned from that was a lot more. And I learned that even economics is done historically. I learned political science is done historically, thanks to people like Prabhat Patnaik and Jayati Ghosh in economics. And uh, Thanks to uh, Sudipta Kaviraj, Gurpreet Mahajan, Sanjay Palshikar, all these people, uh, I've had great teachers. So I think I had proper education. I not just how do I give me a question and uh, give me a choice and I'll write whatever I have to. So, and there's a bit of a gambler in me. Uh, I always used to go to the exam here, not in Delhi. Uh, I used to go to the exam thinking, let me pick up the simplest question, write the most straightforward answer, and get the best possible marks. That's what I used to think. But irrespective of what the subject was, right from my school days, I had to pick up the most complicated question, write the most convoluted answer, and never get the highest marks. But I had the satisfaction that I was doing something that which other people didn't do. Uh, so, all these things, they were inculcated in me by my school teachers. Several of them, I can't name them here now because that'll be like reading out a long list. And though they deserve to be mentioned, it'll be just names for you. Uh, so it'll be a waste of time for you. I don't want to do that.
Sir,
But
what is your father, sir?
my father,
What is
uh,
he?
what is he? He is no more. He retired as the director of Andhra Pradesh Seed Certification uh, Agency, the then Andhra Pradesh Seed Certification Agency. That is equivalent to the Director of Agriculture.
Yes, sir.
He had done agriculture. If you want to know what his education was, he had done agriculture.
BSc Agriculture.
Yeah, MSc also.
Okay, sir.
MSc also.
Mm.
Yeah. So, so I don't know. I had very good education, all-round education, very good all-round education I have had. So this whole AVR Institute of Education was that I want people to get what I have and what they are not getting for no fault of their own. But I don't think people understood the purpose. I really don't think people understood the purpose. I think the seed is a coaching institute. You see, I never went for any coaching, but I always did very well in competitive exams. And that is because of the fact that I was taught by my mother, who I consider to be my most primary teacher. And she told me there's no shortcut. You have to know everything, and only then can you say that you're, you know the subject. And my maths teachers in school, one Mrs. Hemalata Sampat Kumar or Kumaran, I can't remember. Uh, she was another one who went into the basics, basics, okay? No shortcuts, no leaving out of details as This is not very important. Nothing. She left nothing out. So I had that maths teacher in school, and then I had Mr. Rasool, was a great teacher again, but not in the same league as Mrs. Sampath Kumar, though he made a better name for himself. But Mrs. Sampath Kumar was somebody else. And my mother at home, so I had, uh, this whole thing for details. This whole thing for details, I think, was inculcated by uh, Mrs. Sampath Kumar and my mother. In But it's not as if my other subject teachers didn't go into details. They went into details. They went beyond the scope of the syllabus. They used to conduct quizzes uh, every week so that we would be taking those and trying to see how much of what we've learned in that particular week. So those kind of things were very important. So this whole thing about going into detail uh, was practiced, I think, by almost all the teachers that I encountered. Nobody left anything out, especially at school level. It becomes very, very important that you be taught like this, and that too subjects like maths, which will allow you to think logically, which will allow you to frame propositions logically. I've realized that. I've realized how much of that maths teaching that was done to me by various maths teachers has played a great role in conceptualizing uh, a proposition, trying to understand how you can logically construct the contours of something. So that's what I wanted to do. Today, I just thought I will not teach you anything. I will sit and have a chat with you and decide the future of whether I should continue with this or not. You people tell me I'm not going to impose my views on you. That way, I'm a libertarian. Okay? I'm a complete libertarian. I do not believe that what I know is the best. If you think you know what is the best for you, I won't argue with that. I'll respect that. And I'll say, if you don't want these kind of classes, if you can do without these classes, that is fine. That is absolutely fine. I have now decided that I'm not going to teach anything with a UPSC bent or anything, but you know how the faculties are. Uh, you know how well you're being taught, and I'm using well here as a euphemism. So I would like to concentrate on my own students and provide supplementary education. I don't want to choose things for you and say, this is what you need to know. If you, the first step, of course, is do you want to continue this? Second step is this will be online only. Okay, pandemic or no pandemic, I have decided that I'm not going to go offline because it's an unnecessary waste of time for people to travel in case you decide you want to come. So let's do it online, maybe. Uh, let's see if there's somebody who wants it offline. I'll see, think about that. But for now, it's all online. So you decide whether you want it or not. For the next few classes, I will be teaching my agenda. My agenda meaning to make things easier for political thought and political ideologies, especially because that requires you to know a lot of stuff that you do not know. If you go and look at my uh, playlists, you'll see how many classes I have taught you in political ideologies and how little progress we've made in terms of covering the syllabus. Don't look at the Western political thought number of classes, which is 95. That is because even the old classes are there in that. So it's not that, that is not a correct reflection. But the political ideologies are those which I purely taught you. And after how many classes, and those are the classes uh, that include the ones that I've taught here also. And after how little progress we had made in terms of just understanding libertarianism, Rawlsian liberalism, and what has been called neoliberalism. I don't agree with that phrase. It's a nonsensical phrase. Uh, I believe it's just liberalism revived in its classical form, not in that new form that came in the 19th century when liberalism had to respond to the challenges of Marxism. So, these are all up to you people. Okay. Uh, First of all, you tell me whether you want to continue with this in any form, and then I would want you to, for some time, I would want to continue with what I am doing for some time, meaning not more than 2 weeks at most. 2 weeks. And after that, I'll say whatever you want, you can ask me. And I want to teach political analysis. It's a very, very important paper that hasn't been taught to you, that hasn't even been included in the list of optionals. You should know what is behavioralism. You should know what is structural functionalism. You should know what is systems analysis. And you people have done no theory of international relations. Realism is not a theory, it's a doctrine. Okay? It's not a theory. The theory of international relations is completely different. It's a completely different thing. You have to map out how international relations came. For that, you have to go to the nation state. Without a nation, you can't have international relations. Okay? And just a nation on its own doesn't make sense. It makes sense only when it is attached to the concept of the state. So, have international relations ever been on equal terms? No, they have always been on the basis of what we call power relations. International relations are all power relations. They have never been relations between equal countries. There's never been equality. It's all about power. If the Britishers say Pacific, why do the Americans have to say Pacific? Because they want to assert their power and say, we want the world to speak like us, not like the Brits. If we say schedule, the British say schedule, the Americans will say schedule. Why? Because it's power. So you see, it is in those kind of details also that power relations manifest. Changing of spelling, substituting the S's with Z's or Z. You don't even want to call it a Z. You want to call it a Z. Then why do you call an S an S? You should call it a C. But then you have a C. So you see, that is the problem that the Americans face. That's why they come through as extremely stupid fellows. Okay. But that's all a part of the power game. So don't be under the impression that there are no power relations between uh, the Europeans and the Americans. There are huge power relations. So right now, speak whatever you want to in response. Have I? Are you there, or have you left because I'm speaking rubbish?
No, sir, we are there.
We are there, sir.
So please tell me what you want. Do you want me to continue?
Yes, sir, absolutely. Need these
Yes,
classes.
sir. We are
And
attending regularly. There is no
No, no,
problem
no,
with
no, no.
this.
I'm not accusing you of not attending. I don't want this to be a compulsion. I want this because you people feel that this is good for you. I want you to believe that and come, not as something, uh, well, let's keep the old man happy. Let's go and just keep him happy. It's
no,
not.
sir, we think these are essential. That's why we are turning up daily.
Yeah.
We are happy, sir. Most of them are teaching rubbish or teaching something nice.
No, sir, seriously, we are just lucky to have you at least.
Okay.
And the rest of them, most of them are Telugu medium. They don't have background.
The
That's the
background
problem.
will have to come. The background will have to come. It'll come. If you go away, I keep telling you, how can you learn swimming without getting into the water? Show me one person who has learned how to swim without getting into water. Okay? I'm not hostile. I don't put people down. Do I? Do I put people down?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yeah, so if you have a problem, ask me a question. Especially the evening classes, you can ask me a question in Telugu and I'll explain it to you in simple English. And I will also, I'm willing to work with you people to learn the English language. There are simple ways of doing it. There are some very, very simple ways of doing it. But for that, you have to know the subject. You can't express something if there is nothing. Hmm? Can you write, if I say write an essay, what will you write it on? So I can tell you, I can pick up a topic and I can tell you how you can write in English. Start with simple sentences, not long sentences, short sentences. It can be done. I'm willing to go with that because, irrespective of what people tell you, the reality is English is the language that is going to get you a career. English is the language that will get you a career. And even if some of the girls will tell me that we don't want to get, uh, we don't want to work, we don't want a career. If they say something like that, um, then my simple answer to them is okay, don't get a career, don't do a job, but do prove Nehru right. Because Nehru said, when you educate a male, you educate one person. When you educate a female child, then you educate an entire family. Well, I'm an only child. I've been educated by my mother. If I had other siblings, I'm sure she would have educated them. So the whole family, if I had siblings, we would all have benefited from that. So I believe in that. I believe in that. Women should be educated, even if they want to be homemakers, because there's this little girl, and every time I tell this story, my heart sinks. She's the sweetest little child. She is. Why am I saying was? She lived here with me till 2 years ago. She came when she was a toddler, and she grew in my lap. And a very bright child. I put her in school, and her mother actually was here because she was uh, taking care. She was an attender for my mother-in-law who needed to be taken care of. And so they lived in this house. And even after my mother-in-law passed away, um, I asked them to stay on until some things went wrong. I don't know what it is. But a child today is suffering. While she was here, I was there. I used to help her with her education. My mother used to help her even with that small little mathematics tables, the second table. And very, very bright child. Very bright child. Okay. And her mother is a laborer now. She chose to be a laborer. And I keep telling them, I send them money for her education. And I tell them, please come to Hyderabad. Put her in a school here. That exposure makes a difference. But the mother has her own plans. She's a bit of an independent soul, so can't do much about that. Uh, but the child today, because of this pandemic, she's suffering. She has to go to a tuition teacher. The tuition teacher will, what, in a place like Mehboobabaad, what kind of a tuition teacher will you find? You're not going to find somebody who's going to teach you wonderful things. For her also, it'll be, some kind of an exertion to make some extra money. So that is the reality of poverty. Uh, and it breaks my heart to see the poor not being able to uh, do anything with their lives simply because things are denied to them. Poverty is the biggest curse. And whenever I speak to the child almost every day, and she says, "Sir, mem pedavallam kada," and I feel like crying. Sorry. It's a sin. It's a curse. This thing called poverty. Really, I feel guilty having had this privileged life. I did not have great material comforts, but I've had a privileged life in terms of education. And I see that being denied to people today by the people who themselves went through that kind of a situation. They are not giving their hands and trying to pull people up. No, they want to compete with the upper castes, get ahead of the upper castes. Poverty is a horrible thing, terrible. It deprives you of everything. So I want more people who have had no decent education. I want to work with those people. If God gives me a long enough life, even after retirement, it's still a few years away. Even if it is 60, it's still some years away. But I would like to work with people, the poor, so that nobody will, those people at least will not say that, poverty deprived me of an education. So, Prashant, you were going to say something. Prashant?
Sir,
Yeah, I thought you wanted to say something. Okay, I got it. Is Rakesh also in the same position?
yes, sir.
You're in the same emotional position, or will you be able to speak?
Yes, sir.
You'll be able to speak. Tell me, what do you want from me? Please give me 2 weeks to do the things that I have to do with you people. And after that, 3 days, I'll teach papers that are not there in your syllabus, that have not been included in your syllabus in that which you ought to know. I'll teach if you are coming to the classes. I will teach those papers: public policy, political analysis, 3 days a week. And the other 3 days, you people tell me what you want me to do. You ask me, we want this, we want that. And if I can, I'm not God. I can't do everything. Whatever I can, I will. Is that a reasonable arrangement?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, in the
There is
next,
no fault with you, sir. We are not that.
you're not what?
We are not that suitable to you.
No, no. See, let me tell you that again. I don't want to teach the elites. Okay? The reason I came back to Osmania University is that every year I have found at least 4 students per class, 3 students per class. Otherwise, I've even found 1 student per class. Kavya, are you still here? Kavya used to come alone to my class, and I used to teach Kavya alone. I don't know, Vaishnavi has stopped coming, Sri Vaishnavi. She used to come alone to my class, and I used to teach her. So I thought that's okay. 1 person, fine. And I don't want, please don't underestimate yourself and say that, you know, you're not up to my level. All that is rubbish. All that is rubbish. Apart from the Johnny English kind of jokes about with age comes wisdom, and all that kind of thing. And apart from the fact that a musician, uh, a guitar player wrote a song in which he says, we think we're getting older and wiser when we're just getting old. Maybe I'm just getting old, but I like to believe I'm not wise. Definitely, I'm not wise. There's no wisdom in me. But I've learned a few extra things because I've lived a few extra years than you people have. So it's just that, extra time on earth that I've had, which has given me an opportunity to build myself. And because I have this motto that I'm a student of life for life. That's my motto. So please don't think you can never rise. You're not up to my level. Nobody is below me. Nobody. I promise you that. Nobody is below me. Nobody is below Sudipto Kaviraj. Nobody is below Prabhat Patnaik. Nobody is below all these people. You can become. Why can't you? You just need the right guidance. That's why I emphasize education.
Yes, sir.
So we'll end here today and resume tomorrow 5:30. We'll start with that Habermas thing, and for the MA students, I'll get on to Aristotle, because let me just finish Aristotle so that I can ask a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Because I hate this MCQs. They're ruining your life. All these people, they're ruining your life. I don't know. Even this growth of this technology, ultimately, what is it coming to? Okay, at one time people said, at least learn how to read and write so that you can read a document, understand it, and put a signature. That's what people said. Now everything biometric. Anguta chap. We're going back in time. We're going back in time. Everything is ready made. You don't have to search. The excitement of searching for something, finding it, is all gone. It's just a mechanical thing. And the information that is available, it is not even reliable. It's not even reliable. So, so we'll catch up tomorrow.
Yes, sir. So can we do some things like these exams and all are official for marks, but how about you giving us some tasks and we are submitting you so that we can learn more writing things. Uh, but it's a bit of extra work for you, I guess.
No, it's
But
okay. I'm not doing anything. Okay.
no, so assessing so many papers from students
No, it's okay.
burden you.
How many? 10?
Yeah.
That's not much. It's not
So
much.
yeah. So how about, yeah, as you said, every Saturday or weekend, we will just
Mm,
brush up the things which we've learned in the week, and you giving us some exam sorts or tasks, like
sure.
giving us questions to answer.
All right. All right.
Yes, so that will be better, right? Especially writing, as you're emphasizing. Yes, writing
Yes,
is,
you need
we
to
are
know how
lacking
to
in that,
write, ma'am.
to be honest.
You need to know how to write.
Yeah.
You need to know how to write.
Yes. So we'll do some classes on this also, so thesis writing, this
Yeah, we will.
methodology, how to write a good paper.
Definitely.
Because the thing is, if we get a topic, what we do is we search internet, read some articles, and just copy bit from here and make our own thing. But that's not correct, and we do not have access to some good books also. So, what is the best way to build our writing skills, writing papers or sorts?
First, let's not get into the subject.
Yeah.
We'll just have writing exercises. I'll ask you your hobby, let's say, for an example, and say, write about it. Write how it became your hobby. What
Yes,
is it
sir.
that you like about? What do you do with that hobby? How does it help you in life? Help not as in, you know, making money or something. No. Help in the sense, how does it enrich your life? Our hobbies enrich us. They enrich our lives. So yeah, we'll start with some very general pieces of writing and then get into the subject specifics.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yes, sir.
No, so now that you asked this, so let me give you the thing. mm, Your topic is what I like doing most.
Okay.
Is that okay with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hmm? Yeah, so what I like doing most, write it in 4 to 500 words. I don't want big essays straight away.
Yes,
If you
sir.
can write more, great. But if you can't write more, don't worry. Don't worry. Okay, don't worry. We'll start with 4 to 500 words. What I like doing most. What, sir? Prashant? Oh, Prashant.
Yes, sir.
Is that okay with you?
Yes, sir.
I think Kavya said okay already. Mm. Please remember, those of you who think that we don't want a career, you should still know you should be able to educate your children. You should educate your children. I've had no children of my own, but I have educated about 7, 8 of them. They used to come and stay here in my house at different points. And an uncle of mine says his son became a good for nothing. So he says, see, look, all these chaps who came to you, those people have done something with their lives. Whereas this fellow didn't come to you. I asked him to go to you. I'm not saying that but that was his take, a third person's observation. So, okay then. So you don't have to give it tomorrow. You can give it in 2 days.
Sir, most of the people, staff means don't have zeal of learning things after getting jobs, but you are different from other people. You didn't stop learning new things.
See, there is one very simple rule, Akshay. If you want to be a good teacher, you have to continue to be a good student. For example, most of the stuff that I teach you today, okay, this stuff was not taught to us. I was not taught Rawls. I was not taught libertarianism. None of this was taught to us. But what was taught to us was how to study. How to study. That was taught. And that has helped in understanding the new developments. And I have this, I've never shared this with anyone. For the first time, I'm sharing this. I have this, not had, I have this fear that am I getting lost in an abyss because I don't have a peer group, my equals, I don't have them as reference points. This fellow knows something and I must also know that. I don't have that. So I have to rely upon other people in other universities to see in good universities. in good universities to see if I'm with them, up to them, am I able to do what they are doing? So I need to look for a reference group elsewhere. In Usmania, I have none. I don't have anyone. And that way it's easy to slip thinking that I know, yeah, what is there now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Most of them, after getting jobs, they stop reading or learning. But you learn continuously without stopping. It is
Um,
a nice character, sir. That we should learn.
Thank you. Those are very kind words. They humble
Not
me.
kind words, sir. They are
Oh
true
no.
words.
And they humble me. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, one more thing. Uh, Seeing you breaking down like this is really sad. And what you're doing is really great. I mean, as a professor, also as a human being, helping out, thinking about the ones who will think these days. So you please don't feel low, sir, that what you're not doing, you're already doing a lot. And it's how much can you do? So
Not
you're doing
much.
your part.
That is true.
Yeah. So just we are so proud of you. I don't know how to express. Even I've never seen a professor or a human being like you, sir. Truly, these are not. I'm not exaggerating.
Thank
So
you.
please, sir, you just don't feel low. You're doing your part. You're doing more than what you can do.
Thank you, ma'am.
We are with you, sir. So please, if uh, just let us know if we can be of any help to you.
Sure.
If you start any initiatives, any programs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, then I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
thank
Please
you, sir.
take care, sir, of your
Yeah.
physical and mental health also.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Bye. Prashant and Rakesh, just stay on. I need to talk to you people.
Yes, sir.
I need to just talk to you about something.